In April, the Dáil debated Solidarity's bill, which was called the Objective Sex Education Bill. That was a bill to provide for, as the name suggests, objective, factual sex education that would be LGBTQ plus positive, that would be progressive, that would have consent at its core, and crucially, it would provide that the religious ethos of schools would not stand in the way of the provision of that objective sex education. We had a really important campaign of public pressure, which many people participated in, which meant that the bill passed what's known as second stage. Fianna Fáil withdrew its opposition to it overnight, and it passed with nobody voting against. Second stage means that the Dáil agreed in principle to the bill and passed it on to the next stage, which is committee stage, where the bill will be looked at in detail by the Education Committee in this case. We then got a letter from the Ceann Comhairle on Thursday, which explained that the bill will need what's known as a money message. A money message is simply a message from the government to say that if passed, the government will budget for it. In this case, crucially, to budget for the training of teachers that will be needed. Unfortunately, this idea of a money message and the need for the government to provide it has become the favoured method of the government blocking legislation. So a lot of bills have passed through second stage from the opposition and then don't get any further because the government simply refuses to provide a money message. That's the case most obviously at the moment for the bill supported by People Before Profit, by Solidarity, by Vera Toomey and many others, the medicinal cannabis bill, which is still awaiting a money message from the government. So we're very concerned that the government will seek to block the passage of necessary objective sex education legislation by withholding a money message. We think this bill needs to be progressed. We think the massive result in the repeal referendum was people voting obviously for abortion rights, but also for a progressive, for a secular society. We think it's significant that the Oireachtas Committee on the Eighth Amendment recommended that objective sex education will be provided. So the Ceann Comhairle has said that the government should come back within 3 weeks to say what their intentions are in terms of a money message. That brings us to the 3rd of July. And we're asking people now to contact the Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar, to contact their local TDs and to demand and ask that a money message will be provided by the government so we can proceed with this legislation to make sure that in our schools as soon as possible objective, factual sex education can be provided regardless of the religious ethos of the school.